You're watching DriftEcho, where chaos isn't random. It's inherited. Let's shift the focus. For 2 seasons, HAZBIN Hotel delivered demons, deals, sharp humor, and musical numbers wrapped around emotional collapse. But season May 3rd opened with something far more volatile than any overlord clash. A family confrontation. Because after the fallout of season 2, one reality is impossible to ignore. This is the Morningstar era now. And fans are circling one inevitable moment: Charlie, Lucifer, and Lilith in the same room. No mythology to hide behind. No symbolic distance. Just history forced into conversation. At the center stands Charlie Morningstar, voiced by Erica Henningsen, still clinging to the radical idea that redemption can exist in a realm engineered for punishment. But she's not just a princess anymore. She's the product of 2 opposing legacies. On one side, Lucifer, performed with theatrical bite by Jeremy Jordan. Pride. Rebellion. The embodiment of choosing freedom, even if that choice fractures everything else. On the other, Lilith, the missing sovereign. The silence that shaped hell as much as any decree. Her 7-year disappearance was already a wound in the narrative. But the revelation that she may have been living in heaven doesn't just complicate the story. It destabilizes it. Because if Lilith crossed realms willingly, then the divide between heaven and hell isn't as absolute as advertised. And that's where season 3 pivots from spectacle to ideology. Lucifer will have his version of events: why she left, what it cost him, how it reshaped hell's power balance. Lilith will have hers: what she discovered, what heaven truly represents, and why she stayed away. And Charlie? She won't just be listening. She'll be choosing. Choosing which legacy defines her mission. Choosing whether her hotel is rebellion against her father, correction of her mother, or something entirely new. Fan theories are already splintering. Some believe Lilith infiltrated heaven strategically, playing a long game that could reshape both realms. Others suspect something darker, that what she learned in heaven threatens the very premise of redemption itself. Because if heaven's structure depends on permanence just as much as hell's does, then redemption might not be liberation. It might be destabilization. That makes this reunion more than emotional. It makes it political. Not just who rules hell, but why hell functions the way it does. Season 3 feels less like chaotic escalation and more like generational reckoning. Legacy examined. Compromises exposed. Consequences passed from parent to child. If Charlie discovers that hell's foundations were built on negotiated truths, on sacrifices disguised as necessity, then her hotel stops being a hopeful experiment. It becomes a correction. If this long-awaited family confrontation opens the season, expect sharp dialogue instead of spectacle. Old wounds resurfacing. Ideals clashing harder than fists ever could. Because once the Morningstars stop hiding from each other, hell can't hide from itself. And that brings us to the real question. If redemption truly threatens the balance between heaven and hell, who fights hardest to stop it? Heaven? Hell? Or the ones who built the system in the first place? Drop your theories below. You're watching DriftEcho, because sometimes the biggest wars don't begin with armies. They begin with families finally telling the truth.